Hey everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Elric, and in this video we're going to talk about what shared attributes are and how they make domains different from the RCFT base shape, the two-sided relationship shape, and all that stuff. So I have a quick keynote, and then we're going to go into some data, and yeah, let's just get right into it because this is where the power comes from. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you soon. Alright, so in the last video I talked about how what a domain wouldn't make much sense without shared attributes. So we did create two domains in the last video though. We created the group domain and the people domain. So shared attributes look like realm, class, family type base shapes, look like our standard shape, except they don't have a single base table. They still have the realm, class, family, and type though. And the realm records will always point to us to a specific domain. So a realm record in event would be people event, and another one would be group event. A realm record in name would be people name and group name. That's because the base table of a shared attribute is a combination of that shared attribute and a domain. So it will have its domain's parent ID, it will have the shared attribute type ID, and it will have other columns in there. So it's going to be one of the things that we have to do is create a way to inject columns into the table during creation. However, with shared attributes, every time a new shared attribute is added, those intersections have to be created. The group flag has to be created if we just recently created a flag shared attribute, and same with the people flag. And that goes both ways. If we create a new domain, then we have to make sure that that domain gets all of the current shared attributes. So it's a different take on how we create tables. It's no longer, create this one, then this one, then this one. It's, well, what subject is this? What subject family does this belong to? If it's domain, make sure all of these are created. If it's shared attribute, make sure, all of these other tables are created. So going into the data, what I have is two new records in the subject family and subject type tables. So in the subject family, I created a new record with the shared attribute key name and shared attribute name. And in the subject type, I created a new record with reference and ref. Now we kind of don't need this here because we don't really need to call it reference because we know that realm, class, family types always exist on reference. But it's good just to keep up that consistency in case we need to do anything else, because the base tables will go on the domain's subject type. So like group has a subject type of group. The base table of a name shared attribute will go on that group cluster, group index, group columnar, etc., etc. So the data set that I created a new data set type called base shared attribute. Same kind of thing. It's under the abstract realm and the table family, just like we've been doing for all of our past table-based creation videos. And the new data set that I created is very much different from the other ones that I have. Normally, it's subject family abbreviation followed by subject name. But like I said, the base table is going to be on the parents group. So this might read after the token replacement, PEO people name, PEO people event, GRP group name, GRP group event. So that's how our data set will work or look in the data set table underneath the shared attribute type. So the data points I'm going to go over in sections. First, I took all the data from the domain table that we had created, the domain data point template table that we had created. And what I did is I changed, like I said, normally our data set names kind of look like this: subject family abbreviation subject name. Well, I changed that to parent abbreviation, parent name, followed by subject name to create that that combination that we need. We still have our parent ID because it's going to be there, and we still have our subject name because it's going to, name type ID or event type ID will be there. But these descriptor columns become irrelevant. So we are going to need to remove these columns. We still do want to keep the cleaning system because just in case, cleaning contact information, address information, cleaning name information, like there's a lot of stuff that we could clean in the shared attribute space. So we do want to keep our orderings, especially our orderings. I mean, model Pablo Picasso's full name. We're going to do that. We can do that because we have sequences and a name shared attribute now. And definitely our system flags. Now, what I've been using later on in the videos was 10-base sequencing because we don't need these descriptors. What that leaves us open for is to create new columns between sequence 50 and 110 for each of our shared attributes. And I'll go over that in some code in the next video on how we're going to actually be doing that. And then what I was left with is a new dataset ID from our new dataset. And these are the columns and these are the sequences that actually go in our data point table. So the parent abbreviation and parent name are bolded in both locations. We have our specific dataset number stopping at 50 and then moving right over to the sequence, the sorting columns in 110. So I did change a procedure for now just because we're on this borderline feature design and a lot of stuff is going to break if we run it. And I will go over that change in a moment because these are all the shared attributes that I added to the subject table. We're going to do some tests on name and event, and then we have several other items we can test on to make sure that when I create a new shared attribute, do my domains get it? And, we're going to need all of these and a few more. So you can write them down, put them in there. I might not be using them immediately, but having them available is going to be a lot easier to do than coming back to this series and explaining more about, which ones I actually need. So the code change, was in system object, subject dataset, create all. And one of the pieces that I changed was if the subject type ID coming in, it belongs to the dimension subject family, we need to abort because the date dimension and the geography dimension are very much their own structures, very well defined in our current world. Now, the rest of the code was just, the create realm, make sure it's in the table. And I left the realm, class, family, and type exactly where it was. But I added another piece to make sure that it is not a shared attribute. And if the subject type is not a shared attribute or of the shared attribute family, we can go ahead and create the base as normal, or as we normally would. And same kind of if not exists, then insert that data. Now what's going to happen is we're going to, if it is a part of the shared attribute, we're going to have to do some other things. So that code is not in place yet, just because this is what we need to do before we start getting into the code itself. So that is it for this video, just kind of explaining what shared attributes are. Hopefully they make sense. Please let me know in the comments if you want some further explanation. But in the next video, we're going to start actually creating them using data-driven code. So thank you very much for watching, and remember, like this video and YouTube will recommend it to other users, and subscribe to support me. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.